Even though the SUVs are becoming much more popular in the Indian market, the hatchbacks, they still hold a major chunk of portion of sales in the Indian market. Holding the mast is the Maruti Suzuki's most affordable model, the Alto. Now for the last 2 years, Maruti Suzuki has not been offering the Alto K10, which is one of the most fun to drive car in this segment. Well, as you can see, it is back, and it is back in an all-new avatar. That's because it is based on an all-new platform, and it is an all-new generation of Alto K10. So as we further explore the car and tell you everything about this new Alto K10, stay tuned and make sure that you press the subscribe button and press the bell icon as well. Now talking about the looks of the all-new Alto K10, it looks very much different from the previous generation car. As you can see, Maruti Suzuki has added a much larger grille to this vehicle, and there is no use of chrome, at least from the factory fitment. However, you can add dollops of chrome in the aftermarket accessory department of Maruti Suzuki. There is no option fog lamp here. However, the size of the bumper, it has become much bigger than before. You also get a clamshell type bonnet, and it does look much more premium than before. Also adding to the premiumness is the much larger unit of the headlamp with the textures which do look very good. Now coming to the side profile, you get the side turn indicators on the body itself. You do not get them on the ORVM, which is all black in color. Now this is the top end VXI Plus trim level of the Alto K10 that you get from the factory. You do not get the alloy wheels from the factory as well. You get steel rims which are of 13 inch size. You do get the wheel caps. However, if you do want the alloy wheels, you can opt that in the aftermarket section accessories department of the Maruti Suzuki dealerships. Now you also get the flap type door handles, which are quite outdated. However, they are low in cost and they do the work pretty well. You do get a keyhole right here. You can use the key to enter the Alto without using the keyhole. However, in the lower variants, you will have to use this keyhole to open or close the Alto. You get large windows right here, and overall, if you look at the side profile of the Alto K10, you do not get deep creases. However, there is a muscular line that is running right from the A pillar to the C pillar, and it adds a kind of texture to the whole body, and it does make the Alto K10 look much more muscular. Now coming to the rear of the car, the most interesting part that you will see is the shape of the tail lamp. It is now squarish in shape, and you do get the textures that you see in the headlamps as well. Premiumness. Now the shape of the boot lid, it has also changed. It has become more rounded. I will open this and show you what's inside, how much space do you get. But before that, check out the rear bumper as well. It has become much larger than before, as we get to see in the front bumper. However, you do not get any lamps here, and you also do not get any camera. However, you do get 2 parking sensors right here. So overall, the Alto K10, it has become much bigger in size compared to the Alto 800. How does it translate into the cabin size and space inside? Well, let's jump in and check out. But before that, let me open the boot and show you how much space do we get in the boot. To open the boot, you do get a keyhole right here and the remote pull button near the driver seat. However, we will use this key to open the boot to get this 251 liters of space. You do get a parcel tray right here. However, there are no strings attached to the boot which will lift it up to open up the space. The loading is quite deep, as you can see, and currently we have 2 overnighters and a laptop bag which has been settled quite well into the car. Now sitting inside the all-new Alto K10, you will see major upgrades all over. The first of them is the 7-inch touchscreen which sits right in the middle. It gets connectivity options like Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Also, it gets the Suzuki Connect. You get different functions as well, including the mileage. We will test the mileage of this car very soon, so stay tuned to check out the real life mileage of the new Alto K10. Right in front of me is an all digital instrument cluster. It shows you a lot of things, including the speed, the range, the fuel gauge, and a lot of warning lights here and there. However, there is no tachometer in this car, which I think is a big miss, especially for people who are enthusiasts and they love to drive the Alto K10. Right in front of me is a new steering wheel. You get silver inserts right here, which adds the premium looks. Maruti Suzuki has also added the multi-function buttons, which you can use to operate the screen and also your Bluetooth telephony. This is the first time that we are seeing these buttons added to the Alto. Apart from that, if you see in the center, you will see the manual AC system. You get two rotary knobs which you can use to turn up the AC speed and change the modes of the system. Climate control, you get a 12-volt charging socket right here, a USB connectivity system and an aux as well. The USB thing you can use to connect to the Android Auto or the Apple CarPlay. You get a lot of space in the middle as well. There are two cup holders right here, and there is some space to keep your things like mobile and other small items like coins and all. Right behind that, you get a premium looking leather cover for the gear lever. However, the gear lever itself is not very premium looking. It's a very basic unit. However, it does the job very well. Now coming to the seats have become much broader than before. They get nice amount of bolsters. However, you do not get the adjustable headrest. I am around 5'10", and you will notice that my head, it rests perfectly on the seat and there are no complaints around here. Now you also get a glove box. It is not cooled and it's big enough to fit packets of this size without any worries. You do get airbags right here for the driver and the co-driver right here. On the door pads, you get bottle holders which you can use to fit 1 liter bottle. We have a 500 ml bottle right now which fits perfectly, and you do get some space behind that as well. Now the door pad, it is very thin, and that's why there are no controls for the windows over here. So where are the controls? You get the controls right below the infotainment system. This is the top end variant. As I said before, this is the VXI Plus, and you get the power windows only for the front two passengers. The rear passengers will still have to use the manual rotary thing, which we will show you right now. Let's jump into the rear seats and show you what the Alto K10 offers. Now we are in the rear seat of the all new Alto K10, and as I told you before, this car has become larger in dimensions, and that translates into bigger space inside. The front seat, it is set according to my height. As I told you before, I am 5'10", and you can see that I have got a lot more space in the rear. There is a lot of knee room, and there is a lot of room on the floor to put my feet around comfortably. However, there is a transmission hump which will come into play when there is a passenger sitting in the middle seat. So I think with the middle hump, the third passenger will be a tight squeeze. However, it is a very comfortable space for two passengers. Now talking about the seats themselves, they are well cushioned, well bolstered, and as you can see, there is a lot of under thigh support, and there is a lot of support behind my back as well. However, these headrests, they are not adjustable, and if I sit like this comfortably, you will notice that there is no support behind my head. Now the seats, they don't get any armrest. However, you do get a cup holder or a bottle holder right here. The AC is powerful enough, so there are no rear AC vents, and there is no need for that as well. There is no space on the doors. You, as I told you before, you get a manual lever to operate the rear windows, and you do get a small space to keep things like your phones on the rear seats. Maruti Suzuki has also added speakers on all the 4 doors, and they do work very well. Most cars in this segment, they only offer 2 speakers on the front 2 doors. With the 4 speakers, the sound quality has massively gone up. Now that's about it of the space of the new Alto K10. We feel it has become much more spacious than before, and if you want to travel with 4 passengers, this is going to be a perfect car for you. Now before we start driving the all new Alto K10, I must tell you that you can't adjust the steering for tilt or telescopic settings. Also, you cannot adjust the height of the seat using any lever on the side. All you can adjust is the sliding of the seat. However, for my height and my posture, I must say that I am not feeling way much out of the comfort zone. It feels very comfortable. So let's start the drive and talk about the one of the best highlights of the new Alto K10, which is its engine. Now the new Alto K10, it is powered by the same 1 liter K10C engine. It's a dual jet engine, which means it gets 2 valves per cylinder. What does it do? It ensures that the fuel burns better and it generates a lot of power and fuel efficiency. Coming to the fuel efficiency, we will talk about it later, but we have been driving this car inside the roads of Kerala, and you must notice that there are no proper highways, there are no open highways here. So all the runs that we have done is through such city traffic. Now let's talk about the engine. Again, it's a 3-cylinder engine. It generates a maximum power of 66.6 PS and peak torque of 89 Nm. Now since it's a dual jet engine, it generates a lot of low end torque. So much so that while driving the manual, we started the car from standstill in the second gear, and it didn't do anything. It didn't jerk, it didn't stop, it just took off. So during the heavy traffic situation, you do not exactly require to change the gear shifts too much. Maruti offers a 5-speed AMT, which we are driving right now, and a 5-speed manual, which we drove little while ago. So we will talk about both of them. Let's start with the AMT first, since we are driving it. So it's a 2nd generation AMT, which all of the Maruti cars now get. There are typical AMT things that you will notice while driving this car as well. For example, there are times when we felt jerks while shifting from 2nd to 3rd or vice versa. It doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes you do feel it inside the cabin and it really shakes you. Apart from that, it remains a perfect thing for the city drive. You remain relaxed, you get the 2-pedal driving system, which is something that you will enjoy very much in heavy traffic situations. The AMT, it also offers more fuel efficiency than the manual. So currently we have driven this car around I will just check in the odometer. We have driven this car around 56.8 kilometer. All through the way our AC was on and windows closed, and we were driving it normally. We were not driving it to achieve a very high fuel efficiency. So according to the display, we are currently getting 24 kmpl, which we think is quite exceptional with the AC on and the roads like this where there is a lot of traffic. Now once the AMT reaches the 5th gear, you don't have to do much. It cruises along and it ensures that you get a lot of fuel efficiency. Who should buy what? Well, we will talk about that later. Let's talk about the manual transmission first. The manual transmission, it's a gem of a transmission. Yes, the gear shifts are a little bit harder than I expected. However, the gear ratios and the shift qualities are very, very good. If you are enthusiast, you will love the manual transmission. We even got wheel spins while shifting from 1st gear to the 2nd gear, and we feel that the Alto K10, the original Alto K10's DNA is still alive in this all new Alto. Now coming to the choosing between the AMT or the manual, we feel just like any other car, if you are driving too much inside the city roads and you want a relaxed driving time, you should always choose the AMT. Else you can always go for the manual transmission, and I will reiterate that it is fun to drive car. Alto retains its all the go-kart like feeling while you're driving it. However, this car, the all new Alto, it has become little higher than before, so you feel like that you are sitting at a higher position. Even though you do not get that original go-kart like driving experience, what you get is more visibility outside. There are larger windows and you do feel that you are sitting in a very commanding position. Now coming to the comfort of the car, I have already told you that the seats of the new Alto are much better than before. However, Maruti Suzuki has also updated the suspension of this car, which means that it feels magical while going through such speed bumps or rubber strips. Much of the potholes and the speed bumps, they really do not filter inside the cabin, and you do feel very comfortable while driving it. I must give some scores, extra scores to the Maruti Suzuki guys for tuning the suspension like this. Really appreciated. However, you will see the typical Maruti thing of the steering not getting to the center after you turn it once. So you will have to use your hand to bring back the steering to the center position once you take a U-turn or a very sharp turn. So overall, the Alto K10, the all-new Alto K10, it remains as much fun to drive as the earlier Alto was. However, you get more fuel efficiency and the convenience of the AMT as well. So if you're looking for a car that you can drive around enthusiastically and also extract the maximum fuel efficiency, yes, this is the car that you want in your garage. Now, if you have seen the whole review, I have not much to say about this car. Starting price of 4 lakh and the top end price at almost 6 lakh, the Alto K10, it makes for a very much practical choice. It looks funky, it turns heads on the roads, it gets a lot more space than before, and you also get a lot more features than before. I think with the new Alto K10, Maruti Suzuki has again hit the sweet spot, and this car will remain the preferred choice of first-time car buyers. Well, what do you think about this new Alto K10? Do let us know in the comment section below. And as always, do not forget to subscribe to the Car Talk channel and press the bell icon to get more such videos and reviews in the future.